One decision can redefine your destiny. Most people underestimate the power that a single moment of choice can hold. They think transformation is built on years of hard work, countless plans, and perfect timing. But the truth is, every revolution, every breakthrough, every story of greatness begins in one instant. The instant someone finally decides to stop accepting what is and start reaching for what could be. That moment of decision is not just an idea, it's a line in the sand where your old life ends and a new one begins. It's when you realize that nothing will change until you do. The world doesn't hand you permission to grow, you give it to yourself the moment you decide to take control of your destiny. One decision can take an ordinary life and ignite it with extraordinary purpose. It's not about luck, not about chance, and not about waiting for the stars to align. It's about stepping forward with courage even when fear whispers that you're not ready. Every person who ever achieved something great stood exactly where you stand now, uncertain, afraid, but willing to decide. The decision is the birth of transformation. It's the spark that turns potential into power. Before the action, before the results, before success ever appears, there's a quiet but fierce commitment inside the heart. Asterisk, I will no longer live the same way. Asterisk, that commitment changes everything. You don't need to know all the steps before you decide. You just need to take the first one. Most people wait for clarity before they act, but clarity doesn't come before the decision, it comes because of it. Once you choose a direction, your mind and heart begin to align, resources appear, people show up, and life starts to move in that direction. The moment of choice triggers motion, and motion creates momentum. Momentum creates belief, and belief reshapes identity. It all begins with that single, powerful choice. When you decide, truly decide, you awaken a force within yourself that has been sleeping. You stop negotiating with your limitations and start commanding your possibilities. You stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? The decision itself reshapes your internal world. It shifts your focus from fear to purpose, from doubt to drive. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw walls. You start to realize that every barrier is just a test asking how badly you want your dream. The stronger your decision, the weaker your excuses become. Think about it. Every great invention, every movement, every success story began when someone decided that the current reality was not enough. A decision doesn't just redirect your path, it rewrites your future. It changes how you wake up in the morning, how you talk to yourself, how you treat people, how you face failure. Once you decide, even your failures become lessons instead of limits. The decision gives you purpose, and purpose gives you resilience. People who have decided who they want to become don't quit when it gets hard. They grow through it because their decision already defined the outcome in their mind. One decision can separate a life of mediocrity from a life of meaning. It doesn't have to be dramatic or public. Sometimes it's quiet, a whisper inside that says, I'm done waiting. It could be the decision to forgive someone, to take a risk, to leave something toxic behind, or to finally believe that you're capable of more. That single act of mental commitment can shift everything you experience. When you change your direction internally, the external world eventually follows. It's not magic, it's focus. Whatever you focus on expands, and your decision tells your mind what to focus on. Decisions shape destiny because they are declarations of identity. Every time you decide, you're not just choosing an action, you're choosing who you are. Are you the kind of person who waits for things to happen, or the one who makes them happen? That single internal choice determines the entire quality of your life. People who decide that they are in control of their destiny find a way, even when there seems to be none. People who leave their destiny to chance drift wherever the current takes them. You can't control the wind, but you can decide which direction to steer your sail. The moment you decide, you begin to attract new possibilities. Energy moves where intention flows. The decision sends a signal to life itself that says, I'm ready, and life responds. The right people, the right opportunities, the right moments begin to appear, not because they weren't there before, but because you finally tuned your mind to see them. The decision changes your awareness. It's like flipping on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you see paths that were hidden all along. So many people spend their lives waiting for a sign, waiting for motivation, waiting for someone else to believe in them. But destiny doesn't wait. The greatest regret people carry is not from the wrong decisions they made, but from the decisions they never made at all. Fear convinces them to stay still and stillness becomes a prison. But the moment you decide to move, to risk, to grow, you take back your power. Decision is liberation. It's the act of saying, I refuse to be a prisoner of indecision. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your doubts or your fears. You are the result of the decisions you make from this point forward. That's the power you hold right now. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but right here in this exact moment. One decision made with absolute commitment can change your direction forever. It can shift your habits, your mindset, your relationships, your career, your health, your happiness. Everything responds to the energy of a decided mind. You don't need to be fearless to decide. You just need to be brave for a few seconds longer than your fear. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else matters more. And when that decision is made from the core of your being, nothing can stop it. The world bends to those who have made up their minds. Once you decide, life is no longer happening to you, it's happening for you. Every second you hesitate, a part of your potential slips away unnoticed. But the moment you decide, you take back control of your story. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop hoping and start doing. You stop wondering if it's possible and begin to make it real. That's the moment destiny shifts. Not because something external changes, but because you changed inside. And once you change, everything around you begins to follow that new vibration. One decision can redefine your destiny, not because it changes who you are, but because it reveals who you've always been, beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the noise of other people's opinions. That decision is the doorway between your current life and the life that's waiting for you on the other side of courage. It's not a question of possibility, it's a question of choice. And the answer to that choice lives in this exact moment, in your hands, in your heart, right now. Growth begins where comfort ends. Every person dreams of a better life, more success, deeper love, stronger confidence, greater purpose. But the truth that few are willing to face is that nothing extraordinary ever grows in the soil of comfort. Comfort feels safe, but it's silent decay. It keeps you warm while slowly stealing your fire. The greatest transformations in history didn't come from ease or predictability. They were born from discomfort, uncertainty, and challenge. Growth demands friction because only resistance builds strength. Just like a muscle cannot expand without the strain of resistance, your potential cannot unfold without stepping into the unknown. The comfort zone is seductive because it offers familiarity. It's a space where everything is predictable, controllable, and manageable. It feels good because it shields you from failure, rejection, and pain. But it also shields you from discovery, power, and fulfillment. Nothing new ever happens inside the lines of safety. The mind craves security, but the soul craves expansion. The longer you stay where it's easy, the more you suffocate that inner voice whispering that you're meant for more. The tragedy is not in failing, it's in never trying because comfort convinced you that risk was too high. Growth begins the moment you choose to trade comfort for courage. It's that split second when you say, I'm going to do it anyway, even when your hands shake, even when your heart races, even when your voice trembles. True growth isn't loud. It's often terrifying. It's the decision to show up when you don't feel ready, to try again after failing, to keep walking when the path isn't visible yet. The mind screams to retreat, but your spirit knows that life begins just beyond that fear. You'll never find strength by avoiding discomfort. You'll find it by embracing it until it becomes your new normal. Discomfort is the price of admission to a greater life. It's the signal that you're growing, stretching, evolving. Every time you feel that resistance, that voice that says, stop, this is too much, it's not a warning, it's a compass pointing toward expansion. The body shakes when you lift heavier weights because it's adapting to become stronger. The same law applies to your dreams. Each challenge you face is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity disguised as pain. The moment you accept that discomfort is part of progress, you stop fighting it and start using it.